You Chindian, he used it like this, like a slur, more than 24 hours later. But this coming from a UPSC aspirant. And then now when I said I'll expose you, he's like, I'll threaten you with all this legal matter. Hi guys, 3:20 right now, and I'm making this video. 2 days ago, it was like funny and also like so surprising. It started off as fun, like मजाक से शुरू हुआ था, एक joke से, and the fact that this came from a UPSC aspirant who wants to become IAS. I will show the screenshots, the chats, how it started, how it ended, and what led me to make this video. I will say the exact words and not include any of my own words. Also, excuse me, I'm really sleepy right now. India and Pakistan का war start हुआ था. Okay, it was the day 1 of the war. And suddenly बहुत न्यूज़ आ रहा था, कश्मीर में, पंजाब में अटैक होने के चांसेस है. एंड ये ग्रुप में देर आर लॉट्स ऑफ पीपल फ्रॉम पंजाब एंड कश्मीरी स्टूडेंट्स भी बहुत सारे हैं. सो आई सेंड देम दिस टेक्स्ट, पीपल इन द नॉर्दर्न स्टेट्स, बी रेडी, स्टे सेफ. एंड देन आई सेड विल बी वेटिंग फॉर द मॉक ड्रिल वंस चाइना जॉइन्स. एंड फॉर द कॉन्टेक्स्ट, इससे पहले जो चैट्स था सब मजाक का था. एवरीबडी वाज लाइक मॉक ड्रिल होगा, बोला मॉक ड्रिल तो हुआ ही नहीं, मेकिंग फन ऑफ दिस. मॉक ड्रिल बोल के अटैक कर दिया और मॉक ड्रिल हुआ भी नहीं है. एज यू कैन सी इट वाज जस्ट फन वे. सो दिस पर्सन रिप्लाइज, आप लोगों की भी बात रख लेते हैं और बांग्लादेश पे एक मॉक ड्रिल कर देते हैं, थोड़ी बकवास ज़्यादा कर रहा है आजकल. सो ही इज सेइंग इन कंटेक्स्ट टू यूनुस, I don't know how to pronounce that name. I guess he is the chief advisor of Bangladesh and he is claiming to capture Northeast. This is where that thing started. And nobody was offended except for 2 people. So, why I said this, I'll tell you the context. पर ये सब चीज़ हम मजाक में बोलते हैं कि like I remember when I was a kid. And उस समय में बहुत यहाँ पे jets fly होता था. Okay, उस समय में like I think it was from Assam rifles and stuff like this. And then we used to say कि oh my god, if China attacks, China तो कराटे भी आता है. Like we were kids, I think 6-7 years old. But we used to see the movies, right? And we were like कि हम लोगों को तो कुछ आता ही नहीं. Friends लोग भी जब ऐसे बात करते हैं like पाकिस्तान तो चलो अटैक कर रहा है, उसको तो कुछ नहीं है, we'll just deal with those guys. Bangladesh, nothing. Because China is a different, we can't treat China like Pakistan, right? So we're like, अगर China attack कर दिया, then bro, there's only 2 options. You either, as a civilian I'm saying, not as, like we are not army नहीं हम लोग. You either join China या फिर अरुणाचल पैक करके तुम चले जाओ. Because if you refuse China, we don't know क्या होगा. If you don't comply, तो हम उसे मजाक में बोला. And you can see there's an emoji. Then came this person and he was like, why are you saying this, huh? Why are you glorifying China? I was like, everybody is sharing reels making fun of this joke. And then I said him, like, you can see my reply, both sides can make jokes on the Pakistani war side, but we can't on China when we share a border with it. And then he's like, you're not joking, bro. Like, what the? You just look at my text. I told him like, and you are telling me that, like, I told a joke and he's like, you were not joking, I know that. At this moment, I was not being very defensive, stuff like that, okay? And then he was like, were you joking on China or India? I have slightly different taste with sarcasm, but that line with the emojis don't look like a sarcasm to me. Thank you. Who are you to draw that line, bro? And you are nobody to draw that line when you are clearly biased. Cherry picking, which is okay and not okay. China jokes hurt you so much, skip the political classes as well. I'm saying this because in our classes, like our ma'am, she keeps on making funny jokes like चाइना को हम उड़ा देंगे, पाकिस्तान को उड़ा देंगे. But on certain times she's like, चाइना को हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. China is like 10 times much, bigger economically and everything, militarily. China is more powerful than us. इंडिया को पता है, इसलिए इंडिया चुप रहता है, कुछ नहीं बोलता है, पाकिस्तान को बस भोंकते रहता है. All this stuff. So I was saying in this context, like if you're so butthurt, then skip the classes. And he said, you were spreading this with a propaganda. And then I was like, what propaganda? And he said, this is where I lost a bit. I didn't said you are more like a Chindian, Chinese sympathizer. And you can see the timing, it's 3:39 p.m. and I replied at 3:40 p.m. It took me 1 minute to sing this whole. I thought maybe he's saying, I didn't say you are more like a Chindian, you are a Chinese sympathizer. I thought he said me this. He was actually claiming, इसका थोड़ा इंग्लिश गड़बड़ होते हैं, ग्रामर गड़बड़ है, इसको बहुत सारे आदमी लोग भी करेक्ट किया. आई ऑल्सो करेक्टेड हिज ग्रामर. सो ही वाज एक्चुअली सेइंग, आई डिडंट सेड you are a Chinese agent, you are more like a Chindian, a Chinese sympathizer. Chindian is like very offensive word. You can't use it with us Arunachali people, not just Arunachali, like whole Northeast people, but more so with Arunachali people because we share border with China. I'll give you a very simple example. Suppose you say Pakistani to a Muslim person, any Muslim, be it Assamese Muslim, Bengali Muslim, South Indian Muslim, Bihari Muslim, any Muslim of our country, you say it's very offensive, it's wrong. But when you say Pakistani to a Kashmiri person, bro, that's a whole different level. You definitely hit a nerve. And if you ask why, and in that same way, if you say to a Naga, Mizo, or like Assamese, Garo person, has a Chindian, it's offensive. I'm not saying it's not, it's offensive. But if you say an Arunachali as Chindian, that's a whole bit different level because we share that border and China already claimed Arunachal to be Chinese. It definitely hits a nerve, I'll admit there. None of the other northeastern states deal with this. China doesn't want any of other northeastern states apart from Arunachal. Chinese food and हम लोग के बीच में the only similarity is that all Asian foods have a bit of similarity. So you can't say कि Chinese food है. ये जो China, चिंकी, ये सब चीज़ पहले बहुत बार सुन चुका है. But this coming from a UPSC aspirant. तो पढ़ाई लिखा किया होता, then you wouldn't have said this. But this is coming from a पढ़ा लिखा इंसान who is preparing to be an IAS to serve our government, and he's saying this. And then I asked this person, how easy of you to use that slur? And he replied, that easy that Mr. Jaishankar used it in open forum. Everybody knows Jaishankar, right? He is the External Affairs Minister of India and he is phenomenal in his job. But this dumbo doesn't know that Jaishankar was using this in context to the ASEAN countries, the ASEAN countries as we say. And as I've told you, countries like Singapore and Malaysia especially, and including literally all other Southeast Asian countries have large Chindian communities. And he was talking in a forum regarding that. God forbid a girl from Northeast makes a joke and a team of patriotic joins the bandwagon. And then he said, ये बार area reference देना जरूरी होता है क्या sympathy के लिए? Bro, you're literally calling me Chindian because of how I look and because of where I am from. And if you're thinking ki I'm playing sympathy, just look, just wait. He goes into that region part, okay? And brother dear, I don't think you would call me a Chindian if I was from South India or if I was from Haryana or his state Bihar. He is from Bihar, so I don't think he would call me a Chindian if I was from Bihar. And then he said, my GF, my girlfriend is from Arunachali Pradesh. And I was like, bro, look, I usually don't make fun of someone's looks, okay? But if you come at me for my looks using racist slur and think I would hold back, no, bro. I wish I could post his picture here so you guys can look at him. I won't go there, but people who saw his picture when I posted it on Instagram, at this point I was like, bro, you need to shut up, okay? Otherwise, I'm not gonna hold back. And he was like, oh, why? Should I send you my address? But at this point, I was done. I wrote, the topic is closed. If you write anything more, I'll DM you personally. Since you don't have a spine, I have to do it. I just told him to, scare him off. Ki ban karo, otherwise I'll do that. I had no intention of doing that. And then I thought he will stop. Okay. Many of you guys will ask why I didn't block him. I should have. Because I know from my side I won't be responding to this person anymore. And the next day, you can see the timeline, Thursday, exactly more than 24 hours later. And I was like, I'm sorry, dear. And this is when I know that this guy is not just a racist person, he's also a pervert. He is enjoying this. And guys, you should look at his face. एकदम चोमू सा बंदा, चश्मा पहन के इतना बड़ा सा, कंघी पूरा टेल चिपका के, ऐसे hunched back and sitting like this. If I would have seen him in the class, I would have never expected कि ये चोमू सा बंदा ऐसे बोलेगा. And I bet कि real life में he won't even dare to say it on my face. I swear. And then still he was like, dear, he was saying this. I was like, you radical, ugly piece of shit. And then he said, you Chindian. He used it like this, like a slur. Abhi to aur aana baki hai. I haven't shown half of the things he've said to me. I'll send you my user ID, I'll send you my address. Jo karna hai kar lo. If you ask me, I would say this was the moment and the point where I decided, no, now there's no backing down. I have to teach this person a lesson because this person is enjoying this whole thing. Calling me dear, harassing me, sending me flirty text, calling me racist slurs and stuff like this. And he was like, okay, tum jo karna hai karo. He will get this boost कि ग्रुप में हमको कोई नहीं बोला. I've used this, I've said everything. ये हमको ग्रुप में कोई आके नहीं बोला कि तुम wrong है ये सब चीज़. And ये गर्ल भी कल तो बहुत बड़ा फेंक रहा था कि I will expose you, do this, blah blah. But कुछ किया ही नहीं. Then if I don't do anything ना, ये लड़का जाके आगे और बहुत बड़ा कांड करेगा. And then he replied, let's don't talk about grammar mistakes. I told you, let's not talk about hoga. Let's not talk about hypotheses. You do whatever you want to do. I will stand tall and correct with my words, either picking or writing it. And if you again threaten me on legal matters, this time there will be an FIR and this time this shall be real. Like, bro, process bhi nahi ho raha hai. How do you be racist to someone, use a slur against that person and, literally enjoy this whole thing and without any apology or without any regret, this person is doing everything. And then now when I said I'll expose you, he's like, I'll threaten you with all this legal matter. Yesterday he was telling me, I'll send you a picture for the thumbnails, I'll subscribe to your channel, tag me when you will, expose me and stuff like this. And now he's like this. And then I replied, if you think I'll back down with all this, I will not. No matter 1,000 other person call me and be like, you're being dramatic and stuff like this. I won't back down. And I told him, no FIR, I will just expose you. And then, I told him, I'm gonna expose you. Not only you are a racist, but also you are a perv. And when people will start DMing you, then you will, experience how it feels. And then he said, yeah, I'm free all the time. Don't feel try. Dekh rahe iska grammar. He said, don't try to make them Indian, like my people. Arunachali people, Northeast people, don't try to make them Indian. We are not Indian. And soon they will start calling you Chindian. Again, this is the third time. This is the third time he is using that. Then his friend came to his rescue and was like, people don't DM, people see, people scroll, and people happy. And then he went on to say, how are you using WhatsApp from China? And then I told him, I'm dropping it here and don't drag me again. And then he's like, can I suggest you some thumbnails? Go ahead, go ahead, green light, do whatever you want to do. And all the other people were enjoying this fact, he has a girlfriend from Arunachal, yes, now I do, and sending this. Don't will try, don't will. Iska grammar dekh rahe? The thing about any racist slur is that you can't use it for a person and be like, but I just use it for you. I did not use it for the whole community. No. Suppose there is a person belonging to a lower caste or like a delete community. You can't use a slur against that person, mocking and enjoying it with the intention of demeaning that person and be like, but I just use it for this person. I didn't use it for the whole community. But that slur itself was used as a derogatory remark for the whole community. Just like the Chinky, the Chindians, the Momos and everything is used as a slur to alienate us, to tell us and remind us that we are not a part of this country,